Good evening, and thank you all for coming and tuning in on Facebook. I'm honored to be part of such a strong community with such passionate individuals, not only here in Texas, but nationally and even globally at points. We know that Title IV-D is the driving force that is preventing children from having equal access to their parents. However, there are plenty of speakers here tonight who can elaborate on that better than I can using statistics, processes, and legislation. I'd like to actually address those outside of this community, people who aren't involved in this on a daily basis. We have decades of empirical research supporting our cause. And they talk about children from a single parent household. They're not talking about parents that live with one adult. They're talking about not talking about children that live with one adult. They're talking about children that live with one biological parent. The step-parent, the grandparent, the aunt, the uncle, the friend, whoever, they don't count. We're talking about one parent where the other biological parent has absolutely no contact, has every other weekend, or sometimes 2 to 3 times a year. Sure, some of that's by choice, but most of the time it's not. It's forced upon the family in the courts. These children are the ones struck hardest by what I like to call societal plagues. We're talking about substance use and abuse, school dropouts, poor academic performance, truancy, mental health issues such as anxiety, depression, aggression, sleep disorders, eating disorders, mood disorders, risk-taking behavior, premarital sex, contraction of sexually transmitted diseases, teen pregnancies, and for those girls, when they get older, they're now correlating the absence of a parent to miscarriages. Dysfunctional relationships. They become actual perpetrators or victims of real domestic violence. They also have higher incarceration rates, gang-related activities, criminal activity, particularly violent crimes, and everyone's favorite modern hot topic, school shootings. To say that all children from a single-parent household will be involved or affected by one of these societal plagues is false. But they're at a severely increased risk. In some cases, we're talking 800% greater risk than children from a home with both parents or shared parenting. What's the first thing you do when you get in your car? You put your seatbelt on. You ask your passengers to put your seatbelt on. Why? Are you planning on getting into an accident? No, but the risk is there, and it could happen. And we know that seatbelts decrease the risk of death or serious injury. So why aren't we putting seatbelts on these children in the form of shared parenting? What I've noticed in nearly a decade-long involvement in this community is that when you mention Americans for Equal Shared Parenting, another organization, or even the concept of shared parenting to an outsider looking in for the first time, you get that same perplexed, strange look. They're confused. Isn't that the normal? Isn't that what should happen? And I get it. I grew up believing in justice. You had a problem, you went to court, the judge resolved it, good deal. Well, I've had experiences in family court now. I know that's not how it goes. But you take your time and you explain this to these outsiders. They listen carefully, they nod their heads, they ask questions, they even tell you a story about their brother, their aunt, their cousin, their friend, whoever. Coincidentally enough, they've had pretty much the same outcome as everyone else. They support rebuttable presumption. But that's it. That's where it ends. You go your separate ways and we lose their involvement. We need to find a way to reach these people and engage them, because 86% of voters support shared parenting. So why do they stop caring? It's because there's not that hole in their heart. They're not facing this problem every single day. But the fact is, this does affect everyone. Let's talk about their wallets to start. Every single person paying Social Security taxes needs to be asking, where does that money go? Who's getting it? How are they spending it? How are we making them accountable for it? And what are we losing by giving it to them? You don't have to be a child or a parent of divorce or separation to go through this. You could have the perfect marriage with the perfect kids, married to the perfect spouses, with their own perfect children. That's not going to stop a child from a single parent household who is afflicted by a societal plague from robbing you, from holding you up at gunpoint, from shooting you, or whatever else may come your way. So I need to ask each of you out there who's not involved in this community directly, how are you going to explain to your loved one when one of these tragedies does strike close to home, that you sat by idly and did nothing when you were given that choice to have a proactive solution to act upon? So how can you help? Well, the first thing you can do is go to afesp.com and sign up for our call to action database. When there's an issue in your area and we need your help, you'll get an email or a text. We're even working on an app that all you have to do is push confirm on your phone and it'll take care of the rest for you. We need to stay committed to resolving this issue and restoring society to the way God intended it to be. Children need both parents. Thank you.